Okay, Deontay Wilder knocks out Robert Helenius in the first round with his signature right hand. Pretty much not really a surprise to me. Thought that it would end in the first three rounds. I was sort of thinking it'd be maybe it'll go to the second, but I'm not really surprised it ended in one round. With Wilder, I always said this. Yes, he is fundamentally poor. Yes, he's not the greatest technically, but when he hits you, you do not get up from it. I think he's probably one of the hardest one punch KO artists in history of combat sport. A lot of people compare Francis Ngannou to him, and I love Francis. I think he's a destructive puncher, but you look at Francis, he's doing it in smaller gloves. Wilder's knocking these guys out with more padding on it. It's the way he just lands that right hand. It's just different. But yeah. But beforehand though, I thought Wilder looked good. He came in a lot lighter than he did in his last two bouts. So if you go back a little bit, back when he fought Luis Ortiz, which was his last win before the Helenius one, he was 219. Then when back in 2018 when he fought Fury, he was 212. So I do think with Wilder, he tends to perform a lot better, I think, at this. And obviously, in the Fury fight, he obviously weighed. How did he weigh? I think it was something about the 270 mark or something. I don't know. It was. I'm just guessing. I think it was that though, if I remember correctly. But he came in a lot lighter this time around, and I think it really made a difference. I think Wilder, to me, weighs a lot more. I mean, he looks a lot better when he's just lighter than that because he's able to move around the ring a bit better. He's not as bulky, and yeah, I just think with Wilder as well, the way he fights, he's not really. I don't think his frame is built to support like a real heavier build, and he's not like an Anthony Joshua who's just naturally huge. Wilder's obviously in great shape, but he's more of a lighter build. He's not a guy who I think is meant to be very heavy. Yeah, I think Helenius outweighed him by at least 40 pounds. I think they were saying Helenius here got a weigh 253 pounds or quarter pounds, and you can kind of see that in the fight. You know, Helenius looked very heavy, looked very stiff, and yeah, I wasn't really surprised to be honest. Like I said, Helenius again tried to implement a little bit what Fury did, tried to get him on the back foot, but I just don't think he was able to really I don't know, just establish the jab, really get the shots going. He here and there he had moments like where he would land a few jabs to the body, but nothing much. On the way actually, I correct myself here. It wasn't 270. So against Fury, Wilder's weight was a 238 pounds, which actually isn't. It's big, very big. But again, sometimes you look at a lot of these heavyweights, they weigh a lot more. I think he just looks just a lot better when he's like I'm trying to find how much he weighs here. I for some reason can't find it, but he definitely though I think in his fight he stayed on the outside a lot. Wilder was jabbing a lot to the body. He wasn't swinging wild, which he never really does up until he has his opponent hurt. To be fair, but yeah, I think he definitely though in this fight you can see he was obviously on the outside trying to pop off the jab. I can't remember him really throwing the right hand a lot or frequently. I think he pretty much in this bout kind of tried to stay on the outside. Right, here we go. Wilder was 214.5 pounds in this one. So, again, very light. And you can see him moving around the ring. I think Helenius kind of got a bit of false confidence when you saw Wilder backing up and he was landing he wasn't landing big shots, but he was just landing little pot shots here, Helenius. And for some reason decides not to almost rush him, but to walk straight forward in a straight line towards Deontay Wilder. And Wilder didn't even really hit him that hard. Oh, so it looked anyway. When I say don't hit him hard, he didn't really fully extend his arm like you saw in the Luis Ortiz fight where he was able to fully extend the arm. The Brazil fight, another example where he almost came out with a sledgehammer. It felt like the way he kind of caught the right hand and landed it on his chin. Here he didn't do this. He essentially just caught Helenius coming in a little bit similar to how he knocked out Spiltzker back in the day. And yeah, I'm not really surprised though, like I said. And in terms of what's next now for Deontay Wilder, he's obviously talking about Usyk after the fight, which is interesting because obviously Usyk kind of said that initially when like Joshua and Fury were fighting that he would fight Wilder, and a lot of people now thinking that Wilder could knock Usyk out. It's the recency bias, as we all know. I don't think this will happen to Usyk. I mean, alright, it could happen because Wilder can knock out anybody, but Usyk's a lot smarter. He moves a lot better, and he's a lot harder to hit. So even if you look at Joshua was able to land on Usyk, but Joshua was a lot more of a smarter boxer than Wilder. He's able to set his shots up a bit better. He changes levels. He does different things. Joshua. Wilder doesn't do that. Wilder really wants to line you up with the right hand, and I don't think he's able to do that against someone like Usyk, to be honest. I think Usyk's movement would be too much. I think his gas tank will hit Wilder. Coming in lighter though, if you're going to do that. Actually, I think even if Wilder comes in light or heavy, I think at lighter weight the power doesn't make any difference. He hits hard regardless of what weight he's at. He can take people off their feet if he's at 212 pounds like he did in the Fury fight. Even if he's I was saying it was 238 or whatever it was in the last Fury fight, I think he could knock someone out. He's powerful regardless, so I don't think he needs to put that much weight on whoever he fights. But like I said, I think he looks a lot better in the weight. And look, I said this in my preview video of this fight, and I will maintain this. Heavyweight boxing needs Deontay Wilder. Fury's an unbelievable fighter, right? He's a great fighter. So is Usyk, and Joshua can have his moments, but they don't bring the level of excitement Deontay Wilder brings. I know Wilder can be a bit abrasive. He's made the excuses in the Fury fight. He has a lot of things that I know that turns people off on him, but you can't deny when he's in there. I've never seen a man hit harder, and he's either going to get knocked out or he's getting, or he's knocking someone out. It's never like, oh, he'll just try and coast to a decision. No, he's always looking to take your head off. And when you see this guy come in the ring with his little funky outfits and all that stuff that he does, and then you see him go in there and knock a man out in one round, it's what, even though I don't really care for the knockout, I mean, I care for knockouts, but I'm not really bothered if you finish him, if you just get to the decision. I just want to see the better fighter win. But with Wilder, I think what you saw here is he's the most exciting fighter in the division, bar none, and the heavyweight division needs him. As long as that power's there, I want to see Wilder fight. If I don't want to see him getting those beatings like he got against Fury, you don't want to see any fighter take too much damage. But yeah, as long as he, like I said, 36, so he's older now. But maybe he can go, if that power can last up until his 40s, maybe he could still cause a lot of problems for these people in this division. And there's still a lot of good fights out there for him. Next for him, I personally would what do I see? I think an Andy Ruiz fight is one that's been touted, and I think that would be a good one for him. Obviously, you love the Joshua fights, but for me, I think I'd like to see Joshua just get a few warm-up fights, and similar to Wilder in that sense. I don't want to see him thrown. I want to see the fight, but I think it would also make sense to not go for the big fight immediately, get him a few wins, and then have them fight each other, because I don't think either of them are going to retire anytime soon. So, and a brilliant victory for Wilder. He's back with a W in his column, and I'm interested to see what he does in the future. A Usyk fight would be very, very intriguing from a stylistic point of view, but it'd be interesting to see how that one plays out. But just my quick review of the Deontay Wilder KO of Robert Helenius. This division needs Deontay Wilder. He's the most exciting, destructive heavyweight there is out there. He brings excitement, he brings the theatre, and ultimately I think that's what boxing's about. So yeah, great win from Wilder, and yeah, until next time.